we're going to today we're going to do the Telegraph crossword. It's a cryptic crossword. So for all of you out there who've seen a cryptic crossword in the metro or in your, you get them in your tabloid newspapers as well, and you thought, well, I'd like to have a go, but it looks really impossible. Well, I'm going to guide you through the solving of the Telegraph. Now, like I say, you get them in tabloids. You've got the easy ones, the Sun and the Mirror. Also, a really great way to learn. They also have standard crossword clues next to them. Your standard bog standard crossword clues, non-cryptic clues. So if you just can't cope with it, it's you can solve it that way. No cheating, no dictionaries, no thesauruses, no looking up on the internet, no nothing. Just your own skills and knowledge. But they're a lot of fun. I'm interested in the tactical use of deception. Now, obviously, in real life, what you see is what you get. But with cryptic crosswords are all about deception. The surface reading of every clue is meant to lead you astray, and you've got to decode it to get the answer. So people who are interested in that sort of thing, you'll love this. Oh, by the way, I learnt, this is the book that taught me, actually a friend at work, when I was just glancing at a cryptic crossword in the metro, pointed out an anagram, and that got me started. Then I bought this book. It's very good. It's Kevin Skinner. I keep calling him Dennis Skinner. You can buy this in Waterstones. It's very, very good, and it'll start you off. All the basics are in here, enough to get you doing any crossword. So yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd plug that because it's good. Right. When I started, I got into this with a crossword. What you've got to try and do is make your way down. Across, then down, trying to find answers just like any other ordinary crossword. So I made my way down until I got to this one here, which I got the answer immediately. Now with a cryptic clue, there's nearly always a simple definition of the answer at the beginning or the end of the clue. So straight away we had an 8-letter word that meant single man, and immediately I got bachelor, right? And that's called biffing, is where you find the definition and then you lump it straight in. But you've got all the rest of this guff here. You've got, what's all this quite cryptic language? Composer, retired character. So we've got single man, it's an 8-letter, bachelor is an 8-letter word, but there's other 8-letter words that might do it, like eligible. So what these are called the wordplay, the other words, and they confirm the answer. So we've got bachelor, so let's pop that in there. See, I'll make notes on the, not in the grid. So we've got this composer here. Now, that might send you running now, worrying about classical music. There's two composers you're likely to know, well, everybody will know. There's like Bach and Mozart, and we've got Bach here. So tick, we've got an extra clue. Half the word is Bach. Now we've got retired character. Now retired tends to, in a cryptic crossword, tends to mean either one of two things. You're either going to bed, you've gone to bed, or you're going backwards. So it's telling us, I'm guessing now, but I guessed at the time when I did this, that it's one of the words around it is going to be going backwards. Now we know the definition is single man. We've got composer. We've already established what that is. So the only word we've got left is here. Character. Now character is too long because we've only got 4 letters left after the composer. So character, another word that means character in acting is roll. Roll backwards, retired, R-O-L-E. So we've got composer, Bach, and backwards, roll, makes bachelor. So we know that's the answer. So this is the advantage of a cryptic crossword. There's more than one way to get the answer. it confirms itself. Sometimes you only get part of it, so what we'll do is we'll write that in. So I know it's definitely bachelor because it's confirmed it. So that was the one that kicked me off. Now, with any crossword, that's cryptic and standard alike, you'd now use these letters here to work your way through. Now, I had a look at them. I couldn't get anything. So I had another look, something about tabloid editors here, 10 across. Let me have another look. So what we have here is we're looking for, in the way I do things, looking for a definition. This is probably why I can't do the Times. But anyway, it works with the Telegraph. So we've got tabloid's probably the definition, or lead or lead. So we've got editor. Now an abbreviation for editor is ed, ed, the ed. After write, an abbreviation for write is R. Now these two are standard, you will see these in crosswords all the time. So we have ed, after write, so after, put the R, then we've got red. So we know it's 2 3-letter words, and we're looking for a tabloid, so straight away I got it. It's red top, which is slang for a tabloid newspaper. But let's confirm that, because we've still got one word left, which is lead or lead, depending on what it is. And another word for being in the lead is being on top. So we know it's red top. So we bung that in. Now, so we start looking, again, I was looking at what letters we've got, crossing words. So we've got, I got to 8 down, and this was, I got this right, but mostly by guesswork and a little bit of confirmation, but it took me, when I was doing a dress rehearsal for this video, it was only after that I actually really worked out how the answer is actually formed. So we've got prisoner initially quiet in cage in police station. Now the definition is probably either prisoner or police station, or station on its own. And I was guessing police station, and because we had a P there, I started to guess what that might be. If you look at the number of letters and the P in that position, I got it pretty quickly. But let's look at the rest of it. So we've got this initially here. Now this threw me off a little bit because of the quiet. Now in music, notation for quiet is P. So I presumed that P over there meant this word here, quiet, but it didn't. Another word, abbreviation for quiet is SH. And this is because I was guessing what the answer was, it made sense. Now, we've got prisoner initially. Now, initially says, when it says initially, more than likely, they're saying the first letter of the word, either after it or before it. Now, we've got prisoner, so initially is P. Now, there's a lot of guesswork and experimentation, I'll get to this point, but we've got PSH. And this point, I know it's cop shop, which is police station. Because of that P over there, so we've got PSH is cop shop, but I couldn't work out what cage stood for, because that's the only word. Cage in is the only word that we've got left. Now cop shop, what we've got left is COPOP. So this is what I worked out like a day later, was COOP is a coop, which is another word for a cage, for a chicken or whatever. So we've got, so just to recap, this is quite complicated. This is where you put a word inside another word, or some letters inside another word. So we've got P initially, so prisoner initially is P, quiet is shush, PSH, in, another word for cage, which is a coop, which makes cop shop, which is police station. It looks very, very complicated, but I got it by guessing. So I'm just confirming it by trying to figure out how they got to that point, which means I have no doubt whatsoever that's correct. Right then, so this one, I spent a long time on this one, 4 down, which is very confusing wording. Birds loud, a large rook, 6 letters. Now we've got C in the middle there. So I went through, I was going all the because we've got 2 birds there, we've got a bird and a rook. I went through all the birds I could think of. But if you go systematically through it, you can get some clues. So this is quite an American way of looking at things, but a rook is another one. I also considered rook as in the chess piece as well, but there's another word for a rook, and that's to rook somebody is to con somebody. So I thought to myself, well, that's con at the end. We got that C. A large. Well, the abbreviation for large is L, or it could also be OS for oversized, but we'll try L, and an A, and in musical notation, loud is F. Don't ask me why, but you'll get, after you've done a few crosswords, you'll get the hang of it. So already with Alcon, we know it's falcon, and the loud confirms it, which is a bird. So I hope you all haven't given up already. Now I'm nothing special. At school I was in the second set for everything. I was never in the top set for anything at all. This is I'm pretty middle of the road in most things. But it just takes a systematic, a bit of passion, a bit of interest, a bit of reason, and you can put it all together. And again, it becomes very satisfying. So so we got this. This is quite tempting. We've got a word here, and we know the beginning letter, so it's good for guesswork. So we've got 9 across, a Trex leader, packing, cross, and lucky charm. A lucky charm, again, I'm looking for the definition. Lucky charm, because it's it's a nice little phrase. We're looking a talisman, or lucky rabbit's foot, something like that. Well, we've got amulet, but let's look how we can confirm that. So I forgot now. I forgot how I did it. All right. I've completely forgotten how I worked it out. Anyway, let's come back to that in a minute. It's definitely amulet. I will come back. I'll explain why it is once I've remembered what I did. But it does make sense. Packing. Yes, no, it's a bit naughty, this one. So cross tends to suggest to put something over the top of something else. But a cross between 2 different things there's a type of cross called a mule. It's a cross between a horse and a donkey. So we've got the mule in there. And A is A on its own. And again, remember the clue was where used initially, or leader is also the same. So if you see leader, it's saying one of the words around it, take the first letter. So you've got A and T. Packing, you've got something inside it, which is a cross, and that cross is mule, which makes a lucky charm. God, blimey, I just managed to save myself some embarrassment then getting that, putting that in. This one down here, 5 down here, and you've got 2 letters, and this should be, having 2 letters out of 8 should be really easy to do. The clue is cartoon character, American caretaker on staff. Now this took me ages to do. I woke up in the morning, picked up the paper, went, and it immediately came to me. So inspiration does have a role to play. It suddenly just pops into your head. The cartoon character, well, let's explain how the word play. With cartoon character is the definition. How you recognise the definition you'll get with experience, but you can test them both, the beginning and the end. Now we've got, so if we assume that is the definition, cartoon character, this must be the word play. So we've got American. American is often abbreviated US, but it's not in this case. So it's saying, it's suggesting American type of caretaker. In the American version of English, what do they call as a caretaker? They call them a superintendent or super, and you'll know that from watching Friends and programs like that. So we've got super. And we've got staff or man. We've got Superman. So, and that's the cartoon character. It's a bit of a dodgy definition, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. Anyway, right. So we've got 6. Let's try something else. Yeah, three down. This took me a while as well. Young person drinking litres in night spot. I spent ages thinking. Well, litres is abbreviation for litres is L, because it's in more than 1 litre. It's probably LS, but it's not in this case. It's the definition is either young person or night spot. In this case, it turns out to be night spot, and we know because the young person is a cub, and drinking litres, i.e., taking in litres. A cub taking in litre, L for litres is a club, which is a night spot. So that's what we've got there. Right. I'm going to do a double. It's already 1/4 of an hour now. So what I'm going to do is wrap this one up with a double definition. It's another example of a cryptic clue. We've got one down, and it's four letters ending in E, and the clue is not busy on the house. 4 letters. Now, Kevin Skinner in his book, the one I showed you at the beginning, he says pop in an invisible comma. So I'm going to do that in there. So what we're after is a word that means not busy, and a word that means on the house, the same word. And you'll find that on the house, another word for having a drink on the house is getting a drink free, and not busy is free. So the answer is free. So that's a double definition, where you've got a definition at the beginning and a definition at the end that mean the same thing. So that's another good example of how to do a type of cryptic clue. And I'm just going to do the other easy clue, which is a hidden. And these, if you can't find any other way into a crossword, this is what to do. So we're going to do 24 down. Now, leader in soap opera. So what we're looking for, I couldn't make head nor tail of this until I started looking for something in soap opera. Now, leader, I'm guessing, well, the definition is either leader or soap opera or opera. But I start looking, my eyes wandering around here, and I find there's a type of leader within those 2 words, and it's a P-O-P-E. Across those 2 words, P-O-P-E, which is Pope. We'll pop that in. Anyway, so we've done about a third of the crossword, so I'll leave it at that. Otherwise, it's going to be a massively long episode. I hope you've enjoyed doing the cryptic with me. Like I say, I'm a novice. I've only been doing it 6 months, but it's an enjoyable thing. If you're into cryptic things, it's a really enjoyable thing to do. You get a lot of pride from it. I'd start off with getting Kevin Skinner's book and doing that, doing the exercise in that, and then going on to the mirror. And you'll just to start yourself off. People disagree with me on that, but the mirror's easy, so it won't destroy you. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. And I do one I try and do one every day. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.